Hello, I am going to tell the story of Sleeping Beauty. Once upon a time, there was a king and queen, and they wanted a child so bad. And then they finally had a little girl. When they had their little girl, they threw a big party, invited everyone in the palace, including all the fairies in the land that would bear her with gifts. But during the party, an old fairy came that had not been there in over 50 years. The king asked to get her a plate, but it was not gold like everyone else's, which made the old fairy very mad. She started talking angrily under her breath, and a good fairy overheard her and was frightened that she may give the princess a bad gift. So she hid behind a curtain to be the last one to give her gift, just in case the old fairy gave her a bad gift so she could change it if she needed to. All the fairies gave good gifts such as being beautiful, kind, graceful, musical talent, dancing talent. When it was the old fairy's turn, she said that when the princess was 17, she would prick her finger on a spindle and die, which astonished everyone. Everyone wept in the palace. Then the good fairy came out from behind the curtain and proclaimed that she would indeed prick her finger on the spindle, but instead of her dying, she would go into a deep sleep for 100 years. She would be awakened 100 years later, where a king's son would come for her and wake her from her sleep. The king had all the spindles burned in the palace, hoping that nothing would happen to his daughter, but one day she was roaming the castle, where she found an old woman using a spindle. The princess insisted that she tried to use it. She pricked her finger with it like the old fairy said would happen, and she fell to the ground. The good fairy heard the news and put everyone in the palace to sleep as well, besides the king and queen, so the princess would not be frightened when she awoke. The king and queen left and was told no one to mess with the palace, which was not able to happen anyways because the woods grew up so thick around the palace. Since the king had no other children when he died, the royalty went to another family, and mostly everyone had forgotten about the sleeping princess since it had been such a long time. One day the son of the new royalty was out hunting and noticed 2 towers above the wooded area, but no one was able to tell him what it was. The prince found an old lady that told him that a princess slept there and that the king's son was to find her, so he went off to see for himself. He found the palace, and when he got there, he found the princess lying there asleep. He awoke her with a kiss, which broke the enchantment. They were both so happy, and everyone that had been put to sleep in the palace awoke and continued to do what they were doing as if they had never been asleep. Then they got married and lived happily ever after.